Hey guys, I'm back from my break with a new What If series. This is going to be What If Yuji has projection magic as a curse technique, as you can see in the thumbnail. So, this series and from now onwards, every series is going to be in my own voice. So, if you like it, please tell me in the comment section and please do like the video, share with it your friends, and let's get started. Yuji's his grandfather said, "You're a strong kid, so help others. Even if it's only those closest to you, just save as many as you can. It's okay if you lose your way doing it. Don't worry about whether they will thank you or not. When you die, you should be surrounded by people. Don't end up like me." He said, "Gramps, what are you babbling about?" Yuji replied, but there was no reply from his grandfather. "He has just passed away." He called the nurse from the telephone booth in the room and tell that my grandfather just passed away. Yuji sighed tiredly as he was signing the paperwork given to him by the hospital in the reception room, and the nurse collected it and told the boy that, "Well, when we will call you to come get your grandfather's ashes," the girl said, and Yuji nodded and was ready to move, but another girl came and stopped him. "Sorry, but can you wait?" The girl called out, and Yuji turned around. "Yes, what is it?" "During his last days, your grandfather wrote and arranged these that they were given to you after his passing." The nurse handed Yuji a folder with his name written on it and a notebook. It looked like an encyclopedia with how heavy it was. He thanked her and walked out of the hospital and returned home. After he made his dinner, he ate in silence and sat on the bed and opened the notebook with shaky breaths and shaky hands. It the first it was an envelope inside it, and it said, "Dear Yuji, if you are reading this, it means I'm dead. In this letter, I want to explain few things that I could not discuss with you in the hospital where there were a lot of years. The world isn't as it seems. In this world, there are things called curses, which are created by people's negative emotions. These beings are over because of these beings, over 10,000 people go missing every year, most likely being dead. The reason I know this because 100 of years ago, Itadori family used to be a small clan of Jujutsu sorcerers. These are the people who fought curses and exercised them to protect the public. Because how dangerous this job was, our family drifted away from it and became normal citizens. The reason I'm telling you this because you have the potential to become a great Genjutsu sorcerer given by your inhuman strength and your lineage. At the moment, I'm sure that your cursed energy is still dormant, but I'm sure in due time you will awake it, and when it happens, you will need a curse technique to fend off these curses with. That's why I wrote down the curse technique that was told to me by my own grandfather a long time ago. I hope you go forward. It helps you go forward in your journey. Make sure not to waste your life like me, your grandfather, Vasque Itadori. Yuji looked down with the letter with a shock and confusion, interest and sadness. He took a moment to look at the window outside of his apartment, saw that the sun was going down, and he wondered what was written was true or not. But knowing his grandfather, he leaned more on the former than the latter. If there was the case, he wondered why no one knew about these curses, the type of disaster they could bring. By thinking more on the matter, it makes sense as to why it was kept quiet. Sighing, Yuji Op closed the letter and kept it on his nightstand and opened the notebook and started reading. The first few pages talked more about curse energy and curses, explaining their concept, how they worked. Through it confused the boy. He understood the importance of things and flipped to the next pages, which held his family's curse technique, grading air or tracing. This technique involved materializing of objects in accordance to the user's imagination. Through the user of curse energy, grading comes from the fact that creating objects slowly fades away after being created, and air is an illusional to the fact that said object is made out of nothing. This technique is similar to construction from Zenin clan, but unlike it, the object you create have a limited time, while construction does not. It normally part, participate participate the technique is considered useless, but a way was found which can make it a strong and reliable technique. Tracing, its advanced version of grading air, is in which not only does it reproduce the shape and substance of object but is also its entire history as well. Object created with tracing are slightly inferior to the original due to the fact there is only so much information can be gathered by a sight alone. The unique ability of this object is slightly inferior to the original. The condition set for the technique is to work in the object must be seen directly by the user in order for them to make a copy of it. Hence, object cannot be copied through blueprint or such. Tracing is split into 7 different steps: judging the concept of creation, hypothesizing the basic structure, duplicating the composite material, imitating the skill of its making, sympathizing with the experience of its growth, reproducing and accumulated years, acco- uh, reproducing the accumulated years, excelling every manufacturing process. Because of these steps, it is possible to produce incredibly labored objects that can remain in the world seemingly indifferent after the creation. Unless broken or dismantled, to activate this technique, the user must chant its unique incarnation. Just as he was about to read the next page, Yuji heard a knock on his door and he opened the door and here Yuji Itadori. Yuji heard his name and looked out of the door and see a black-haired teen standing next to him. My name is Fushiguro Megami Fushiguro from Jujutsu Tech, and there is something we must discuss. The other teen continued as he talked to the pink-haired boy in the hallway. Yuji Yuji quickly said, "Come inside and we will talk." As they got into the apartment, and Yuji closed the door behind him and said, the Megami said, "You have a very dangerous cursed object with you, and I am here to take it off your hand." Yuji raised an eyebrow. Cursed object? He knew about what were they as he read in the book uh, as it explains what they were. Incredibly powerful tech, tech, um objectives that were ranged from high level curses used for used to make the lower level curse spirit fear in them. Usually, the curse Yuji knew what he was talking about, and Megami said the curse object that you have is a special grade object. It is very dangerous and can lead to many deaths if it's unsealed. He pulled out his phone and showed Yuji the picture of the object. Nodding, Yuji handed over the box to the sorcerer as it was still in his bag. He completely forgot about it. When Megami opened it, it was empty. He asked, "Where is the object?" Megami said, grabbing the shoulder, "There's a possibility that my senpai took it, as I heard her talking about opening it tonight." Yuji said, as he did not like how Megami was behaving. Sure, the world was on its death end if how Megami was telling the things, but that does not mean that you can grab somebody by its collar. So Megami left Yuji's collar and ran to his high school. Yuji put his grandpa's note on the table as he was still studying it and grabbed the book as he did not know what it was. So he grabbed the book and ran after Megami. He quickly catched up to him. After they arriving at the school, there was an ominous aura over there. "What is that?" Yuji cautioned. Megami glanced as he jumped over the fence. "You stay here, it's dangerous inside." When Megami went inside the building, he called his two Shinigami dogs. He reached the top floor as we see in the canon. Just what happened to Yuji's senpai as she was getting groped by the curse. Yuji jumped from, I think it was third or fourth. I think it was third floor. Jumped, break the building, landed on the curse, and grabbed his his senpai and landed next to Megami. This gave the Megami the chance to kill the curse. Yuji then took the wrinkled finger, Sukuna's finger, from his senpai's hand and cautioned Megami, "What is what? I will tell you later. Good thing. I will tell you later, but don't eat it or let any other cursed spirit eat it." Eaten? Why would somebody want to eat this? It is tasty or something? The high schooler asked curiously. "No, you eat it to gain curse energy. Whatever, just give it to me." The finger. Yuji complied and handed over Megami the finger. "Get your friends and you yourself out of here." Just as Megami shouted, just as there was a spirit coming out from the rooftop, and Megami pushed Yuji out of the window. Just as there was a blast in over there and Megami was implanted at the school building site, Yuji jumped and tried to fight with the curse, with, but he was tossed around like a rag doll. Megami, seeing this, asked, "Why are you here? I told you to get out of here with the others." But Yuji kept fighting as he launched into the air along with the spirit, got ready to eat it. Eat the Sukuna finger that was hovering over there. What I'm saying. But Yuji used his superior strength and punched the curse in his face, and but the curse dodged it. And as this was going on, Yuji's mind raced back to the enchants that he read in his grandfather's notebook. His mind flipped through the memories as the cursed finger was coming directly at his face. His mind go back to the when he was 9 and their teachers took them to the Tokyo National Museum, where he saw the oldest katana of the five swords under the heaven. Their tour guide started talking about the sword it seemed to but the time seemed to stop as everyone except Yuji, who was only focused on the sword, and disappeared. Standing there, Yuji remembered the incarnation that was needed to begin his technique. Looking down at his hand, his breathing became heavy. Trace. Balling his hands into fist, he looked back at the sword. On. The teen started scanning the sword from the Tutsugaki Garashi as a memorial started flashing through his head like a movie as he watched Yasutona no Honki carefully crafting the sword, starting to finish. He then watched Minato no Yorimasti wield the sword as he fought against the thriving demon known as Shenzhen Doji, which Yuji presumed was an actual co-spinner of that time, which gained the sword its name. The memory continues from wielder to wielder, using the sword from through their lives and finally ending up in the Tokyo National Museum. After fulfilling all the steps, Yuji's curse energy awakened, a spike obliterating the cursed arm free that was coming to his face. His hair shadows his eyes, and his free hand outstretched. Curse energy gathered around it. Dorigiri! Yatsuna! The boy shouted as the katana manifested in his palm in all its glory, radiating with curse energy. Exercise with slashing vertically and horizontally 2 times, even so fast that Megami could not even see. The cursed spirit was exorcised. Megami was left in awe as he looked at the heavily breathing non-sorcerer who had no experience killing a cursed spirit. Adding to his shock was the massive amount of cursed energy that came out of Yuji. It reminded him of a certain white-haired man and a black-haired sword wielder with a cursed spirit behind him. Yo, but he was just cut out of his shock. Megami, what's happening? And what's with the sudden spike in the curse energy? Speaking of the devil, the pink-haired teen looked over to the Megami and to see that he was sitting next to a white-haired man wearing a blindfold, holding a plastic bag, standing next to him. Before he could say anything, Yuji Itadori's world went to black. So that's it guys for this video, and I know it's a bit short, but it's the new what if, so I'm still writing it and perfecting it. So I know some spellings are going to be wrong and some words are going to be bad, but I am just going to start my Japanese classes again, and I am going to see if I can improve my language bit more. And please subscribe our channel guys, and please help me support. And bye guys, meet you in the next videos. Hope you like it. God of What If out.